Hi cats and kittens, it's Amy from Savor Salvage Scent, and I hope this finds you well. Today I thought I would bring to you an idea or a theme shared by a close friend and subscriber, my friend Nicole. She asked me to do a video dedicated to bed scents, and per her request, she said it would be fun if I could do a video focused both on scents that calm or comfort for bed and scents when you want to bring somebody else to bed. So I'm going to break this up into a series of 2 videos. Today's video is going to be focused on comforting bed scents. First, to those of you who are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Amy, and this is called Savor Salvage Scent, and mostly focuses on fragrance, collecting, experiencing, obsession, etc., learning forever, and occasional other DIY or creative projects. To those of you who are returning, thank you so much. I hope we can continue the conversation. And for any of you, I hope you're inspired to, if you haven't, click on the red subscribe button so we can stay in touch. And feel free to leave comments, questions, etc. Love the ongoing learning and exchange. So today, what scents do I think about or wear when I want to calm myself or comfort myself, especially for bed? First, I'll say this is so subjective. I mean, all of fragrance, of course, is, or art in general, is subjective. But I would say when I was kind of surprised putting this list together because I have 19 scents here and I could have made it 50, like depending on the mood I'm in, etc. Something else that's worth mentioning is these are obviously all informed by my experience too. So there are some that I would say might not even have notes or accords that are known to be comforting, but they might have to do something with my life experience too. So I'll share a little bit about that. I'm not going to say every little thing, every note, every bit of history behind these scents because there's 19. I'm going to move through them a little more quickly. Yeah. So, and another thing worth mentioning, something that didn't make it a lot into this list, just so you know, my cat is wreaking havoc. Sorry if you hear crazy scents or noises. And her name is Paris. Paris, what are you doing? Okay, so something else worth considering, 2 things actually. One, you're not going to see a lot of ambers or resins in this list, and it's not because I don't love them. In fact, I'm crazy about them, and I'm getting ready to do an enormous list of my favorites, my favorite ambers and my favorite resins. So you won't see a lot of those here today. You also won't see a lot of like refreshing scents, and so sometimes in the like total heat of the summer, I might go for some refreshing scents, but I tend to wear those as a pick-me-up in the morning. There's an exception or 2 in this list, but just so you know, if you don't see a lot of those here, that's why. But again, that subjectivity thing. So 19 scents I've chosen. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to start with a few classics. And from Guerlain, one of my favorite houses. So the first is my kind of flacon of Bleue. This is, oh my gosh, such a gorgeous classic, like masterpiece. This was created in 1912 by Jacques Guerlain, who was, I think, God, the third or fourth of the generation. And this is a gorgeous melancholic scent. It's called Bleue, which means the blue hour in French, and it's named after like that time between when the sun goes down and it becomes really dark, so that fuzzy blue kind of romantic hour. I'll link the review down below, but I have a full review on this. This is one of my oldest perfumes, and this was created right before World War I, and so I also think it feels somewhat melancholic because there was probably a somberness, you know, leading into the war, in like pre-war romantic Paris. But I would say, you know, for some, it is kind of melancholic, but this calms me. It soothes me. There's a lot of, I would call this like a a powdery floral with a little bit of animalic stuff going on too. It's got a little bit of funk. I get a lot of, yeah, powder, floral, especially. I'm a carnation freak and I can pick out the carnation in this, but for the most part, it's just blended. So it's like a powdery, beautiful floral. So, Bleue, one of my favorite scents to wear to bed. Another Guerlain scent that I love to wear to bed is Chamade. This is kind of an old bottle. I don't talk a lot about this, but I love it. It's one of my favorite Guerlains, and I don't feel like it gets a lot of love. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. It was, oops, I'm sorry. I have my little notes, and they're kind of out of order. This was created in 1969. This was created by John Paul Guerlain. And really what stands out in this for me are, this is kind of an aldehyde or aldehydic, so that sparkling kind of thing. Floral, again, has a powdery, kind of dried down. A lot of Guerlains kind of have that. It's kind of in its DNA. I can pick out, this to me, compared to, let's say, Bleue, this is a bit more of spring florals to me. Like, I can smell, I'm not even sure if all these notes are in it, but I can pick out like hyacinth and lilac in this. So to me, it's got like a spring powdery floral going on, really comforting. And then when it dries down, to me, it gets a little vanillic. So really, really beautiful. Chamade, another great Guerlain for bed. I'm not going to say quite as much about these two newer Guerlains. This next one is Insolence, and this was created first in 2006. This was touted kind of as a young girl scent, and I get it. I mean, I think a lot of people would like this, but you know, again, I'm not into gendered scents. I think you should wear what you love. This is, to me, a really candied violet, and I mean candied, and it has a little bit of fruit in it too. But it's just, oh my God, you have to smell it. It's so gorgeous. And to me, this just, I don't know, it reminds me a little of those Choward's violet mints, which I had a few times as a kid. And I don't know why this comforts me the way it does, but other people talk about it being a comforting scent too. I think it's just beautiful. And I don't think it matters what age you are. I know this was sold to young girls, but I think it's gorgeous. And I would say I'm no longer a young girl. So, Insolence. Last out of my little Guerlain grouping is, some of you might roll your eye at this, your eyes. Guerlain is known for its classics. It also is on a mad train of flankers for some of its recent scents. One of the recent scents that became really popular was Petite, Robe, Noir, the little black dress. This is a flanker of that, one that wasn't very popular and can be found so cheaply. This is Le Petite Robe Noir Eau Fraiche. It's kind of a light green. Love the shape of the bottle. It's the same bottle kind of used for years for Mitsuko and Bleue and, oh, is it Jiki? I can't remember. There was another one in this. But this is such an interesting scent to me. I would call this quirky, and I would say this does not, to me, smell necessarily like a Guerlain. I love it though. It's a really interesting combination of, it's got a lot of green kind of notes going on, florals, and still a gourmand because it's got this pistachio thing too, a little bit of citrus. And so I would call this quirky. Like, my head almost can't wrap around it for a few minutes when it's first wearing it, but I really love it. For some reason, it just smells so pleasant to me. It smells like a cross between a really high-end soap and a kind of sparkling gourmand. I don't know. I love it. You can find this literally for like $20 to $30 online right now. I think it was originally like 120 or something. It's a great price and a beautiful bottle. So Les Petite, Robe Noir, Eau Fraiche. All right, moving on. I'm gonna speed it up, y'all. Let's see, next is Oscar de la Renta's Esprit de Oscar. This is another kind of classic. I feel like, I forget the date, I think early 2000s. This was created by Frank Vogel and Anne Gottlieb. And, oh gosh. So, you'll notice there are a fair amount of powdery scents. I love powdery scents and they're comforting to me. This to me smells like women's cosmetics, or cosmetics. Anybody could wear them. And it's a powdery floral, but specifically to me, what really stands out, and by the way, how about this beautiful bottle, is heliotrope. And heliotrope is often called like a cherry pie scent. It smells like floral, cherry, and a little bit of almond. So this is just, again, another one that has to be experienced. It is powdery, gorgeous. I think it smells like the inside of like a handbag. Yeah, like cosmetics. It's gorgeous. So beautiful. Esprit de Oscar. 2 Jo Malone scents coming up. I've said before, sometimes her former house gets a bad rap because they're often colognes. They, for the most part, are not super long lasting. This first one especially I have to reapply, but it's so worth it because it's just so beautiful. And it's great to go to bed in because, you only smell it for half an hour as you're trying to fall asleep. This is vanilla and anise. As you can see, I'm almost out. I love the scent. This is one that smells so good. When you wear it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's just so comforting. It creates this like warm cloud. It's, smells just like its name. Vanilla and anise. It has a tiny bit, you can kind of get the tonka too. There's a little bit of tonka and a tiny bit of floral, but mostly vanilla and anise. Just powdery, gorgeous. Smells so good. Jo Malone's vanilla and anise. And then another one of her scents, although I had a tough time, I could have chosen 5 or 6 of her scents to me that are comforting. But this is Blue Agava and Cacao. I just got a new bottle of this because I burned through my last one. This one, to me, has a little more staying power than most of her scents. This is a really interesting, soft kind of gourmand. This is, I would call, gorgeous. It's definitely got that, it feels like a dusty cocoa. And again, it has a little floral, tiny bit of fruit, but mostly cocoa, vanilla, just gorgeous, kind of dusty. It's really cool. Blue Agava and Cacao. All right. Let's see. Next on the list is an oil that I like to wear to bed. It's Nemat's Vanilla Musk. This is a beautiful company out of India that makes oils, and the family's name is Attarwala. So they are literally named for making attars or oils. Usually in the old style, attars were typically, I think, out of florals like roses and such. But this is more than its name to me. It's so comforting. It's one of those you almost can't wear too much of this. Like I'll put this in my hair even and a little on my skin. It warms as you wear it. But to me it smells not just like vanilla and a hint of musk. It smells like vanilla and caramel to me. Yeah, vanilla and caramel. It's gorgeous. And again, it's just so comforting. It smells so nice. And this is one where people will just say, they won't say like, what's that you're wearing? They'll just say like, you smell good. Great. Nemat's Vanilla Musk. So this is an oldie, but a goodie. And some of you who grew up with might not love it. I love it. It's nostalgic for me. It's Musk by Alyssa Ashley. And I just bought this bottle because I had it when I was really young in my teens. I haven't had it for a while. It's beautiful. It's like a slightly soapy, it's a clean musk. And you'll see I have this musk in this list, but when I have the more seductive go to bed list, there are some kind of come hither musks. But this to me is a very gentle, mild, soapy, beautiful musk. It still is warming like once it's on you, but it's definitely more comforting. So Musk by Alyssa Ashley. Some of you know this is dirt cheap. You can find this for like 10 or 12 bucks. Next is one of my, what I would call a desert island scent. It's out of commission, unfortunately. One of my favorite scents. I'm a Carnation freak. And this is, if not the best, one of the best Carnation scents. It's called Noble Carnation by a company named Royal Apothic. They still make other scents, but this one has been out of commission for a few years. This was originally sold, or I found it at Anthropologie, and it was originally pretty cheap. I would say about $75 a bottle or something like that. They had a roller ball too, and Carnation scents aren't on trend, sadly. It's too bad because I think if people would have tried this, it's gorgeous. So what kind of carnation is this? Oh, and by the way, I got a great deal and found this for like 60 bucks online about a year ago. It was such a steal because they can be very expensive. I've seen them go for like 200 now that they're out of commission. But keep looking. So the point is, I finally found a bottle for a good price. This is a carnation that is like, I would call a candied carnation. There's a chemical, I believe, that is in carnation and dianthus. It's like sister plant. That I believe is in clove and some other spices too, and I think it's called eugenol, but it's got a clovey scent. This is not super clovey. This is more, I mean, a little bit, sure, but it's more like a candied, rich, slightly fruity carnation. It's very deep though, and gorgeous. It just smells delicious. Yeah, so Noble Carnation. It just, you know, again, this is relative because I love carnation, but it's a beautiful scent, and I used to wear this a lot when it was still being made, and people would compliment me a lot. It's a beautiful scent. So Noble Carnation by Royal Apothic. So another carnation scent, I'm going to go into a small group of Solstice scents. For those of you who've listened to the channel, you know I love this independent house out of Florida. The nose's name is Angela St. John. She works with her partner who does a lot of the art work with her, and they just are... They're so good at what they do, and they're magicians. They're just so good. This is one of my newer scents. I think it was just created in like 19 or 20. It's called Winter Dove. Comes in a 5 milliliter oil. Their scents are very affordable. I think this is about $16 or $17. When I opened this winter, I immediately bought another one. I was like, oh my gosh. So if Royal Apothic's Carnation was like a candied, mild kind of, well, maybe not mild in the clovey department carnation, this is a super spicy carnation. It smells like a combination of nutmeg, clove. It's creamy. Yeah, and it's got the floral thing. This is so good. Again, I like all those things, and that's what part of the reason it comforts me, but to me this is a perfect winter scent. And I thought it was interesting. There was like a thread on their website, and yeah, a person said, you won't believe how good this is if you like carnation. But the spice really warms it up in a good way. It's not like an old world clove. The nutmeg really stands out. So Winter Dove by Solstice Scents, just a total winner before bed. It's so warming and wonderful. Another Solstice scent that is great for bed and super comforting is called Violet Mallow. They're really good at marshmallow scents, and I know to some of you that might sound juvenile, but marshmallow can be a beautiful, comforting, candied-like scent, and they do it wonderfully. And this is basically, yeah, violet, you know, that wonderful kind of floral, light floral scent with marshmallow, and it just smells creamy, vanillic, and it has really good lasting power, which some violet scents do not have. Like this, I will smell this in my hair and my clothes the next day after I wear it. So Violet Mallow, just really, really nice. Two more from Solstice Scents. One that I actually haven't given enough time to. They make a product called a burnishing glacé. It's basically like a sprayable oil. It's like a body spray with oil. Very emollient. I think these run about $18. They're not always on their site though. And in fact, if anybody's looking for Solstice scents, They are closed. They take a month or two, not a vacation, a rest, and probably get their business ready for other things every year. And they just kind of close their shop. I think they reopen in March or April. Anyways, this is a scent called Chiffon, and it smells just like lemon chiffon cake. It is freaking amazing. I would not call this a classic. This is a easy to reach for gourmand, but I'm telling you, it smells, and it doesn't smell cloying. It smells, they use lemon myrtle in this, and from what I understand, that herbal oil has a lasting power, unlike if you just used lemon. And so it really stays. It's beautiful. It's still kind of soft. It's cakey, but not too sweet. It's wonderful. It literally smells like lemon angel food cake. It's so good. So Chiffon by Solstice Scents, really comforting. All right, this one I couldn't resist putting in, even though I'm going to do other videos related to resinous scents. This is by Solstice Scents, and this is what their perfumes look like. They range from like 70 to usually 90. This is called Conjure. You see? When I'm looking at you, because you cannot believe how good this is. If you like resinous scents, this is a vanillic resinous. Yeah, it's like vanilla and resin, vanilla and incense. Kind of witchy, mysterious. Smells like ritual. Like smells like Catholic church vanilla temple. I mean, it is so gorgeous. You put this on and you're in love with yourself. You're like, I smell so good. And it's the best way to go to bed. You're like, oh, this is so nice. Good night. So, Conjure by Solstice Scents. Can't say enough about it. And I'll get into this later. They do resins. Oh my God. And ambers like nobody else. They're so good. All right, just a few more, y'all. Moving along. These are two scents from Alchemia, another small indie house. This one's out of, I think, Massachusetts, and the nose's name is Shara Lemero. They are so good, just like both Solstice Scents and Alchemia are so good with customer service and shipping, and they're just lovely humans. These two scents are both great for winter. One is called Yuletide Blessings, and one is called Winter Sanctuary. Yuletide Blessings is like a mixture of, there's some things that you smell in the woods from winter, so like a little bit of pine and cedar. There's bay in this, I believe. But there's also, God, I think dried fruit, some spice. This to me is a perfect blend for winter. It's like none of the things that I just mentioned really scream. They all play beautifully together, and it just smells like probably what your house might smell like when you're maybe baking. It's a little boozy. It's got the piney and the bay thing. It's just got everything from winter. It's so beautiful, called Yuletide Blessings. Really good. Those run, I think, $15 or $18. And then Winter Sanctuary is a great scent that is like a mixture of skin musks, eggnog. I think it has a little lavender and rose petal and vanilla. So it's like this, it smells to me, oh my God. Imagine, okay, weird scene, but imagine doing some baking, being in the house on a beautiful winter day, and then snuggling up to somebody you love at night. So you get the skin musk. It's like happiness under a blanket in winter. Winter Sanctuary. So nice. Super comforting. Just feels like a winter hug. Okay, I think I have 2 or 3 more. Let's see. Next is a male marketed scent, Azzaro pour Homme. This is, I mean, I think made in the 60s or 70s. And this to me is a kind of dry scent. It's a, I think it's considered a fougere. It's herbal, but I love it. It's still light and sparkling though. It's not super loud, but it has a lean into anise. I love anise. A lot of people don't, but to me it's comforting. We used to make these German cookies, cutouts in winter that had a little anise in them. This smells like what the house would smell like baking those, and then you get the aromatics of herbs, and so nice. Azzaro pour Homme, really comforting, beautiful scent. All right, to close, I have a couple scents to me that smell like spa scents. These are just starting to get on the border of energizing, so I'm going to end here with just two more. One is made by Indigo Wild by Zoom Mist, and this is the frankincense and myrrh version. This is like probably my third bottle that I've had in my life. These can be found really cheap at places like, natural food stores, head shops. This smells like frankincense and myrrh. It smells a little bit aromatic too. This smells to me like you just left the spa and are going to go to bed. It is so nice. This you can also wear in the morning. It'll kind of energize you if you're ready to get up too, but it's also calming. So yeah, Zoom Mist, frankincense, and myrrh. Wonderful. And because it's kind of oil-based, it's really emollient for your skin. It's lovely. And then last but not least, this is probably the one that starts to get energizing, and this is kind of where I ended here, but I do love to wear this to bed when it's hot. This is Clarins Eau Dynamisante. This is also an aromatic. It's very citrusy. I get a lot of lemon and I think mandarin. I'm not sure if it's a note, but that's what I get. And then of all the aromatics, what I smell, and I'm not even sure these are notes, is rosemary, basil, and I think mostly rosemary and basil, although there are other things going on too. Very lemony, almost pungent, but in a good way, like grapefruit would be or something. And just, it's great to wear when it's hot. It kind of cools you down before bed, and it feels so nice. It's also a great wake me up scent when it's hot. But Clarins Eau Dynamisante. So 19 scents today. Thank you for hanging in. That I think are really comforting for bed. I'd love to hear from you. And again, because this is so open to interpretation, what are the scents that you love to wear to bed? Tell me why. All right. Part 2 is coming later, probably in about 5 days to a week. And we'll focus on scents you want to wear to bed when perhaps you don't want to sleep. All right. Cheers. Have a good night. Bye.